In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to apply a reflection map and then edit that reflection map using the Shading Effects editor. Now, a reflection map is an image that's reflecting off the surface of the effect that we're currently working with. So to begin with, I'll type in a letter A and I'll make that larger. And if I go over here to the Special Effects and Shading flyout, you'll see here there's a reflective option. If I click on that, you'll see there's an image being applied to this letter A here, and that's reflecting off the A, giving us a reflection map. And to edit that reflection map, I can go up to the Effects Tools menu and click on the Shading Tools, or type in the shortcut there, or I can click on this flyout here and go to the Shading Tools. I've also got them down here, and as always in VinylMaster, in the second row of tools, the context tools here, because I'm in my special effects mode here, or shading effects, and I've got it selected, I get my shading tools here. So I can click on that and the shading effects editor comes up with the reflection map I'm using. Now the shading effects editor is interactive with the screen, so if I move this out of the way and I change my reflection map just to show you, you can see how it changes instantly on the screen as well. So you can also put this out of the way when you don't need it by clicking on this button in the top right corner here, and that rolls up the shading effects editor. If I click on that again, it brings it back down and I've got my tools here. Now the reflections we're talking about, these images, we've created a number of reflection maps for you to use, and you can use those by clicking on this drop down here, and you'll see some of these reflection maps that they appear in your extra folder. So I can select, say, this one here, and you'll see it in the background there. Now these reflection maps have been specially designed. You can see, if I'm in this, I'll just bring up the preview here. Around this car, you can see that we've extended the perimeter around the car, because the reflection map is the actual center object. So the rest of the edge here, as you can see in this circular effect, is for the bevel or the profile of the actual object, so that it will wrap around and extend the reflection map around. So that's designed specially like that. But that doesn't mean you can't use other textures or images for reflection maps. You can. It's just the ones we've provided have been specially designed to give a particular effect, like in this particular case here. Now, when it comes to editing the reflection map, what you can do is you can adjust the reflection amount, and you can adjust the grazing angle. The grazing angle works similar to surface brightness, where it actually increases the intensity. So if I make this higher, you'll see that it becomes much brighter. And if I bring it down, it becomes darker again. The reflection amount, in a sense, does the same thing. It actually means the reflection is more intense off the object, as you can see here. And if I bring it down further and further, it becomes more and more subtle or less pronounced. So if I bring the grazing angle up, I can also go to the surface brightness and I can adjust it here under the shading and lighting. And also the color of the object I'm working with also greatly influences what this looks like. Now if I click off the object and click back on it so it's text again and change its color, you can see here that actually greatly influences how it looks. That was a black item. If I make it white, you can see now it looks much more like a silver type effect. And that's one reason why we've given you all these presets on this flyout here. So if I click on this Special Effects and Shading flyout and go to Presets, you'll see all these chrome effects that we've got here. And we've done that especially to give you a way of making chrome very quickly, like that. And if you change the bevel profile up here to this profile, it actually makes it look more like an actual chrome effect. And if I go back here and I bring my grazing angle down a little, you can see that that influences the way this looks. So to make a reflection map look very bright and intense, you increase the reflection amount and the grazing angle. And if I, for example, I'll just roll that up. I just want to show you this. If I zoom out a little and I make a black square, I'll need to send that to the back, obviously. Just put that there. And I go to Order up here and I go to Back. You can see here, by having this on a black background, and I'll just move over there and I'll bring that back out and select the item, You can see that being on a black background, it has quite a different look to being on a white background, and I don't need anywhere near I don't need anywhere near that amount of reflection that I had before, so I can actually tone that down a little bit, and you can see there that it's now looking more like chrome. And if I add a little bit of blue to that, so if I go to solid, well, it's actually got a bit of blue, but if I add a little bit more blue to that, the blue, the slight blue and the bit of brightness makes it look very chromy, and that's the idea. And these are the sorts of experiments you need to make with your own artwork to get these effects to look like that. So increase the reflection amount and decrease it to get the different sorts of looks that you're looking for. And of course the reflection map doesn't need to be just for a chrome effect. If you go to the presets here and you look at things like reflective green, again this has got a reflection map and it's a totally different look, and that's why we provided all these presets, so that you can experiment, get different effects and different looks depending on the artwork and what you're really trying to achieve. All these effects are live and interactive, and they can let you create all sorts of wonderful things and get quite a stark effect out of an ordinary piece of text, or an otherwise ordinary piece of text. So that's where the reflection maps are. They're in this tab, and you can, as I've said, you can use different textures to create different reflection maps, and by adjusting these different settings you can really make some quite amazing effects. And that's the end of this lesson.